यस्येतां भुवि यस्तात्मीयपरमरप्रदगुरो वैराग्यमाज्ञो रथो वेदान्तां तदारवन्तपरघात् श्रीश्रीनिवासाद्गुरोः श्रीशैलान्वयकौस्तुभस्थितनियं श्रेयो निधे श्रीनिधेः वन्दे साधुकटाक्षपेडिनीं श्रीकृष्णसुदेशिकं श्रीनारायणयोगीन्द्रवरदाकृपाश्रयं नङ्गेशपादविनतम् श्रीनिवासमुनिं भजे व्यासं वसिष्ठनप्तारं जगतेः पौत्रमकल्मषं पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकदातं तपोनिधिं पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन कृतितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीमष्टादशाध्यायिनीं भत्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भगवद्वेषिणीं वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् श्रीकृष्ण परब्रह्मणे नमः. Offering my pranamams to all the Bhagavatas in this satsanga, I shall resume the next session. In the last class, we did a little bit anusandhanam of the 8th shloka of the 3rd chapter. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karma jyayo hyakarmanaha sharira yatrapi chate na prasiddhyet akarmanaha. So Krishna is telling Arjuna that engage in action which exists in concomitant relation and is ordained, vihita karma, and niyatam means vyaptam. Such karma yoga is superior to jnana yoga. If you do not engage in such karma yoga, it will not be possible to even carry on living with your body. So sharira yatrapi na prasiddhyet. Here we shall go through some of the special meanings from Tatparya Chandrika now. Niyatam vyaptam, it is given the meaning of samana in the meaning of samana adhikarana vyaptam, which is more meaningful and useful. This concomitant relation happens in two ways. One is by nature of the karma itself, that is swabhavataha. Another is through shastra, or it can be both. So if both are applicable, then that is the best way. And while commenting on Sharira Yatra Pichate, Shastriya Karma Niyama is meant. So here Swabhavato Niyatatvam is meant. So here by nature the karmas are existing in concomitant relation. That is Prakriti Samsrishtena. So that is a reason. When the difficulty in doing Jnana Nishtha was told, naturally, the ease of doing karma yoga would follow, and keeping all this in mind, Bhashyakara gives the meaning of vyaptam for niyatam. Prakriti samsrishtena hi vyaptam karma, prakriti samsrishtastvam, anadivasanaya niyatatvena sushakatvat, asambhavita pramadatvacha karmanaha karma eva kuru. The relation for the vyapti is told here. What is the relation for the vyapti is that prakriti samsrishtena. So it is always associated with prakriti. Because of that, karma is always associated with prakriti. Akarmanaha jnananisthaya api karma eva jyayaha. So naishkarmyam purushošnute iti prakramat akarma shabdena jnananishtha eva uchyate. Jnananishthaadikarinopi anabhyastapurvataya hi aniyatatvena dushyakatvat sapramadatvacha jnananishthaya karmanishthaya eva jyayasi. Earlier here the meaning of akarma shabda is important. Akarma shabdena jnananishtha uchyate is the commentary. Earlier in karmanyeva adhikaraste mate sangostu akarmani, the word akarma was commented upon as karma abhava, not doing karma. Mate sangostu akarmani, not doing karma. But here it is not the same meaning here. So it is depending on the context, the meanings are given in the Bhashya. So in order to make sure that the same meaning is not applicable here, the example given is Naishkarmyam Purushošnute. Naishkarmya was earlier given. The meaning of Naishkarmya is Nishkranta Karma Yoga. That is Paryavasita Karma Yoga, Jnana Nishtaha, Nishkarma, Tasya Bhavaha Naishkarmyam. So it is not Anushtana Tyaga, one who has completed Karma Yoga, that is and attained the Jnana Nishtha, that is a person, that is what is being told. So it is not Anushtana Tyaga, but stressing that Anushtana only is superior. So in this context, the comparison between Karma and Jnana is mentioned in the beginning in respect of superiority, which is better to start first. And hence here that is the meaning to be given. Karmani kriyamane cha atma yathatmya jnanena atmanaha akartritvanusandhanam anantarameva vakshyate. Ataha atmajnanasyapi karmayogaantargatatvat saeva jyayan ityarthaha. So this is another reason why Karma Yoga is told as superior to Jnana Yoga. Atmayathatmik Jnana is very much part of Karma Yoga. So that is the reason. Karmano Jnananishthayaha Jyayastu Vachanam Jnananisthayam Adhikare Sati Eva Upapadyate. So here Swami Deshika makes an observation that Jnana Yoga itself is not compared with Karma Yoga here, but one who is trying to start Jnana Yoga as a first step without doing Karma Yoga is compared with one who is going to Karma Yoga and then Jnana Yoga. So it is not possible at all to start Jnana Yoga as the first step. Everybody has to only start with Karma Yoga and then only attain Jnana Yoga. And they can go to Bhakti Yoga directly or by doing Jnana Yoga and then they can go to Bhakti Yoga. So only if one is qualified it will be possible to do Jnana Yoga, but there can be nobody like that. Everybody has to start with Karma Yoga. That is the bhava. Yadi sarvam karma parityajya kevalam jnananisthayam adhikaroshi tarhi akarmanaste jnananisthasya jnananishthopakarini sharira yatrapi nasetsyati. Here the explanation of the second part of the shloka starts. Sharira yatrapi chatena prasidhyeda karmanaha is the second pada of the shloka. The explanation for that starts with this part of the Bhashya. Yadi sarvam karma parityajya kevalam jnananisthayam adhikaroshi tarhi akarmanaste jnananisthasya jnananisthopakarini sharira yatrapi nasetsyati. So the word akarmanaha is to be taken in bahuvrihi samasa. That is akarmani sthitihi yasya saha akarma tasya akarmanaha jnananisthasya. Akarmanaha is jnananisthasya is the meaning given. Akarmanaste jnananisthasya. So one who is having the jnananishtha, that is a person who is referred to by the word akarmanaha. Yavat sadhana samapti sharira dharanam cha avashyam karyam. This is a very important explanation in the Bhashya. A doubt may arise here. If someone gives up all the karmas, sarva karma parityaga, and for him sharira yatra does not happen. So does that mean he will become mukta because his upaya means he is fulfilled and all the impediments are removed, and so without any effort such a person should be liberated? The answer is no, because if it is simply interpreted as absence of karma, then it will be easily possible to achieve that during states such as sushupti, etc. So it is not mere absence of karma. So it is not that just by not doing karma one can attain mukti, because even in sushupti and all you will be able to attain, one will be able to attain that in that case. So remove all that doubt. It is made very clear that just having a sadhana or means is not sufficient to get the fruits, but it should be taken to completion. Yavat sadhana samapti, that samapti, yavat sadhana samapti is important here. So, and that cannot be obtained in 3-4 days, so that we can neglect the sharira. So if it is possible 3-4 days to attain that sadhana, complete the sadhana, maybe you can neglect the sharira and one may be able to do, but it's not possible. So it will take a long time to achieve that sadhana samapti. So after performance of the means for a long time only it's possible, and till such time the means is completely done, executed, that is, the upaya is taken to completion and fruits can be got, one has to protect the body, for without the body, it is not possible to even carry out the means itself. So not only that, if one leaves halfway through because of neglecting and not completing it, it causes pratyavaya. So Jnana Yoga has got a lot of difficulties. So that is punishment due to nigraha of the Lord, etc. So here we have to note that the Jnana Yoga told is not karma abhava vishishta Jnana Yoga. That is being told in other bhashyas. That karma abhava vishishta Jnana Yoga. That is not what is told here. That is atyanta karma abhava is not there. But that Jnana Yoga also has nitya nayamitika karmas are to be done for everybody. Whoever has got sadhanas, whether it is karma yoga, Jnana Yoga, bhakti yoga, for everybody it is applicable. And how is that Sharira Yatra to be done? Nyayarjita dhanena mahayajnadikam kritva tachishtashanena eva Sharira dharanam karyam. Now another doubt may arise here. Let us say Sharira dharana, that is having the body, is necessary. Even then it is not under our control because it is controlled by the karmas that we have done. So one cannot keep the body for a long time if, say, one desires so, one wishes like that. And by mere neglecting also you cannot get rid of it because it is it will exist as long as the karmas which are responsible for that body are not fully exhausted. The body exists. Or let us say that even if one can keep the body, it can be maintained by any laukika karma. So what is special about it? About karma, doing karma yoga, etc. is the answer is nyaya arjita dhanena mahayajnadikam kritva. The gist is that the karmas are of two types: aniyata, niyata, and aniyata. Those that are a result of some strong curse, etc., are niyata. That means you know when it will come and when it will end and all that. But others are all aniyata. That is, that aniyatatva is not by the swarupa of the karma itself. By nature, they are niyata only. But the fruits, we don't know when it will come, depending on the desha, kala, etc. The fruits of the karma that we have done may come any time. Karmano gahana gatihi. So nobody can say when karma will, which karma will give fruit when, and all those things. So that is what is to be understood. So for such fruits which are aniyata, it's possible to do prayashchitas or medicine through mantra and all those things. So otherwise, if it is accepted that one has no freedom at all to do anything, then one will not resort to even medicines, or even Shastra will become Shutaj, because then Kartritva itself will not be present. So what Krishna is telling Arjuna is, now you are trying to start Jnana Yoga directly without doing Karma Yoga. You are disproving that there is any influence of karma in this world, and the moksha will then be possible to achieve without any effort, etc. So it is not possible like that to do Jnana Yoga directly. One has to do Karma Yoga for a long time, get the purity of the mind, achieve the purity of the mind, and then only one will be able to even get Jnana Nishtha. So otherwise it is just not possible. So Jnana Yoga cannot be directly started. Tat chishtashanena eva is the stressing that eva avadharana. Here the word eva indicates that earning through right means and eating only what is left over after offering to the Lord. That shishta ashanena, that is yajna shishta ashana, that is whatever is offered to the Lord as worship. Yajna is worship of the Lord. Whatever is offered like that and left over, that as a prasada, only with that one has to maintain the body. And that is what is important. And Deshika says that here, that chishtashanena eva, that eva shows that it is a niyama vidhi, that only one has to take the prasada after offering to the Lord. And that is a niyama vidhi. Niyama vidhi means there are many aneka sadhana sadhya. In that sadhya which is possible through aneka sadhanas, several means, apraptasya prapako vidhi niyama vidhi is the definition in Urumimamsa. Niyama vidhi is, it will give us what is not prapta, it will show that is what has to be done. Like gurumeva abhigachyet shrotriyam brahmanishtam tadvijnanartham sa gurumeva abhigachet. For example, to get the jnana shastra, for studying the shastra, there are several means available. One can read from the books directly, or one can go and attend some lecture, or one can anything. There are many means available. One can also go to an acharya and learn from them. So what is that to be done, followed? What is prapta is directly that one we can do by ourselves by reading books, etc. But Shastra says apraptasya prapako vidhi niyama vidhi. What is aprapta here is going to acharya and learning from them. That is ordained that you have to do only like that. Tadvijnartham sa gurumeva abhigachet. You have to learn from a acharya is told. That is niyama vidhi. Like that here, tachisthashanena eva. What Bhashyakara is giving here, it is shows that it is a niyama vidhi, that body can be maintained by several means. One can eat anything which is not offered to the Lord, or which is not allowed, and things like that. But what is the vidhi is that one has to take food which is offered to the Lord and which is a prasada after doing that. So yajna shishta ashana. Ashana is eating. Shishta means what is left over after offering to the Lord. So shishtashanena eva, that is what is important here. Sharira yatra has to be done like that. And if the sharira is not maintained this way, it will simply deteriorate, as indicated by the word sharira itself as visharana svabhava. So that is the meaning of that. And the quotations given, ahara shuddho sattva shuddhihi. Why is that one has to do that ahara is so important, that yajna shishtashana as one has to do after offering to the Lord what is left over, etc. Ahara shuddho sattva shuddhihi sattva suddho dhruva smritihi. Chandogya Upanishad says, Shruti Pramana Bhashyakar says that ahara shuddho sattva shuddhihi. So one has to get purity of mind. One will be able to achieve only by taking good food. That is yajna shishta. What is offering to the Lord, what is left over, that is prasada, Bhagavad prasada only. So this particular Shruti is quoted that shows that even during Bhakti Yoga, here Dhruva Smritrihi is talking about Bhakti Yoga. That is, even when during Bhakti Yoga also, which is achieved through Jnana Yoga, Sharira Dharana he has to be done only this way. That is why this Shruti Pramana is taken by Bhashyakara. That it is not just for a karma yoga or jnana yoga, but even in bhakti yoga, sharira dharana has to be done like this. Te tvagham bunjate papaha ye pachanti atmakaranat. It is taken from the Gita itself, and iti vakshyate ato jnananishthasyapi karma kurvato dehayatrapi nasetsyati. Jnananishthasyapi. So a quote from the Gita is selected to show that even this Shastra, that is Gita Shastra, is dealing, what is told in the Shruti only. So that is what is told. Yato jnananishthasyapi dhriyamana sharirasya yavat sadhana samapti mahayajnadi nityanaimittikam karma avashyam kartavyam. Yatascha karma yogepi atmanaha akartritva bhavanaya atmayataatmyanusandhanam antargatam. Yatascha prakriti samsrishtasya karma yogaha sushakaha apramadascha ato jnananishthayogасyapi jnanayogat karmayogo jyayane tasmat tvam karmayogameva kuru iti abhiprayah. So all the reasons given earlier are all summarized here clearly. Even for one who is eligible for jnana yoga directly, resorting to karma yoga is better. So even if you are eligible for jnana yoga directly, do only karma yoga is the meaning. Or right now you are not eligible for jnana yoga, and so the only way for you is karma yoga. That is meant by tvam. So the gist is that karma yoga has to be done by everybody as a first step. One cannot take up without doing karma yoga. One cannot proceed further, and that is the reason why karma yoga only has to be done, and that is why it is superior to jnana yoga. And karma yoga includes jnana also. It is antargata in that. That is what is told here. Proceeding to the next shloka, 3.9. Yajnarthat karmanonyatra lokoyam karmabandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya muktasangaha samachara. Here there is a small brief avatarike. Evam tarhi dravyarjanadehe karmanaha ahankara mamakaradi sarvendriya vyakulata garbhatvena asya purushasya karma vasanaya bandhanam bhavishyati ityatra aha. Evam tarhi, if that is the reason, if that is so, dravyarjanadehe karmanaha ahankara mamakaradi sarvendriya vyakulata garbhatvena. So if one has to, because the acts of earning material, the food and all those things, what is required for Sharira Yatra, one has to go and earn all those things. Nyayarjita dhanena was told. So when one is earning like that, and those acts are all filled with the feelings of selfishness and ownership, etc., ahankara, mamakara, and all might come during that process of earning. Though it is nyayarjita, it may lead to such feelings of ahankara, mamakara, etc., and thus cause the senses to get disturbed. A person will only get bound in the cycle of birth and death due to the reminiscent impressions. Then it will create a vasana, and because of that, again one will be bound in the samsara. If such a doubt arises, the answer is given here. So the asya purushasya karma vasanaya bandhanam bhavishyati ityatra aha. Whether he will get bound if that such a doubt is there. The next shloka is going to clarify that. This reminds that this shloka, yajnarthat karmanonyatra, is to be established to establish the subject matter of the Shruti Vakyas which ordain certain duties and those which prohibit certain things. That is karma vidhi nishedhayoho vishaya vyavasthapakaha. So this shloka is establishing that what is the vishaya, the subject matter of the karma and karma vidhi and nishedha, whatever is ordained and what is prohibited. And the word adi in dravyarjanadehe includes evam tari dravyarjanadehe. Dravyarjanadi includes mahayajnas, dana, tapas, etc. And adi in ahankara adi includes raga, dvesha, abhinivesha, and all those things. So because ahankara, mamkara, etc. are all different modes of the mind, it is commented as sarvendriya vyakulata garbhatvena. Sarvendriya vyakulata garbhatvena. Asya purushasya means for a mumukshu, one who is desirous of attaining liberation. Karma vasanaya, the reminiscent impression which is old and has not stopped and is getting increased by the impressions due to repeated actions being done even now. Bandhanam bhavishyati. It causes one to get associated with bodies in future also, and hence becomes the cause of putting one in the cycle of birth and death. So that is such a good doubt comes that is answered here. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karmabandhanaha tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sangaha samachara. Yajnarthat karmano anyatra. While performing actions done for purposes other than for yajna. Yajnartha means for yajna. Yajnarthat anyatra means for anything outside of, for the purposes of doing yajna or sacrifice. Ayam lokaha, people of this world. Lokaha is people here, meaning karma bandhanaha, are bound by the effects of those actions. Kaunteya, hey Arjuna, tadartham, for that purpose, for the purpose of yajna only. Tadartham means earlier in the Purva first pada what was told was yajnarthat anyatra. So here it is told tadartham, only for the purposes of yajna. Karma mukta sangaha samachara. You perform actions without any attachment. So being in this world, beings of this world, all the beings of this world are getting bound to the cycle of birth and death on account of karmas which are performed for purposes other than for yajna, and yajna here is worship of the Lord. That is parama purusharadhana. So you perform actions without any attachment to fruits and only for the purpose of worship of the Lord. Yajnadi shastriya karma shesha bhutat. This is the Bhashya for that. Yajnadi shastriya karma shesha bhutat dravyarjanadehe karmanaha anyatra atmiya prayojana shesha bhute karmani kriyamane ayam lokaha karma bandhano bhavati. Ataha त्वं यज्ञार्थं द्रव्यार्जनादिकं कर्म समाचर तत्र आत्मप्रयोजनसाधनतया यः सङ्गः तस्मात् सङ्गात् मुक्तः समाचर एवं मुक्तसङ्गेन यज्ञादि अर्थतया कर्मणि क्रियमाणे यज्ञादिभिः कर्मभिः आराधितः परमपुरुषः अस्य अनादिकालप्रवृत्तकर्मवासनाम् उच्छिद्य अव्याकुल आत्मावलोकनं ददाति इत्यर्थः. So that is a Bhashya. Yajnadi Shastriya Karmashesha Bhutat Dravyarjanadehe Karmanaha Anyatra Atmiya Prayojana Shesha Bhute Karmani Kriyamane Ayam Lokaha Karmabandhano Bhavati. So the material, the earnings that one does, that what was told as Nyaya Arjita Dhanena, Sharira Yatra has to be done and all that, the earnings and all that one does with actions which are meant for selfish needs and or outside of those prescribed as accessories to the sacrifices ordained, that is Paramapurusha Aradhana in the Shastras, will lead the beings of this world to get bound by the karmas. Only for those Kriyamane Ayam Lokaha Karma Bandhano Bhavate. Atmiya Prayojana Shesha Bhute, that is only for the purposes of selfish needs. Ataha Tvam Yajnartham Dravyarjanadikam Karma Samachara. So the what is to be done because of that is not to, one cannot be without doing any karma. One has to do karmas for yajna. Yajnartham karma samachara. So you engage in acts for earning materials, etc. only for the purposes of yajna. Tatra atma prayojana sadhanataya yaha sangaha tasmat sangat muktaha samachara. And while doing for yajnartha, one has to do the anusandhana that it is not for atma prayojana. And with that in mind only, with that idea only, one has to do. Getting rid of the attachment which occurs while using the acts as means to fulfill selfish needs, perform the duties. Thus, having got rid of that such attachment, evam mukta sangena yajnadi arthataya karmani kriyamane. If you do your duties only for purposes of sacrifice, etc., Ajna is in the ultimate sense, it is Paramapurusha Aradhana only here. So Ajnadibihi Karmabihi Aradhitaha Paramapurushaha, the Lord who is worshipped and he is pleased by the worship that is done by all these yajna, etc. Yajnadibihi Karmabihi, yajna and other sacrifices and dana, tapas and all those things, whatever is done, one who is worshipped, they are all done as the worship of the Lord itself, the Paramapurusha Aradhana. And Aradhitaha Paramapurushaha, one who is pleased, Pritaha, that is when he is pleased with all those things, Asya Anadikala Pravarta Karma Vasanam Uchidya, and he will see to it that he will grant the vision of individual self with undisturbed senses to such a person desirous of liberation after destroying the reminiscent impressions which are continuing from beginningless time. Anadikala pravritta, it is continuing from beginningless time. Karma vasana, reminiscent impressions. Uchidya, he will destroy all those things. And avyakula atmavalokanam dadati, the fruit is that without any disturbance of the senses, he will give the atmavalokana, which is the vision of the individual self. So, yadi Yajnadi Shastriya Karma, the meaning of Yajna is given as Vishnu itself, based on the Pramana, Yajno vai Vishnu, by other commentators. So, Swami Deshika observes that it is not against our Siddhanta. Yajna is also told as Vishnu itself, and other commentators have commented as Yajna is Paramapurusha, Vishnu itself. But that is also not against our Siddhanta. But in this particular context, the meaning is in line with the usage in the next shloka. So, Yajnadi Shastriya Karma, what Bhashyakara gives here is Shastriyam Karma. Whatever is Vihita Karma is told as Yajna here, and it is Upalakshana to all the Shastriya Karmas. That is indicated by Adi, Yajnadi. Adi means all the Shastriya Karmas. Like Shruti says, Tametam Vedanavachanena Brahmana Vividishanti Yajnena Danena Tapasa Anashakena, etc. So Yajna, Dana, Tapas, and all those things are all included in this Yajnadi, what is told. And Shastriya Karma is told here in the commentary. And Sheshabhutat, the word in Mula Shloka is Yajnarthat, is interpreted as Sheshabhutat. Yajnartha means Sheshabhutat to Yajna. That is, all which are actions are meant for sacrifice, etc. That is, for they are subservient to the Yajna. And Dravyarjanadehe Karmanaha Anyatra Atmiya Prayojana Sheshabhute Karmani Kriyamane Ayam Lokaha Karma Bandhano Bhavati. So Karmaiva Bandhanam, Karmana Bandhanam Vayasya Saha Karma Bandhanaha. That is, if it binds one through its reminiscent impressions and not because it is sin to do them. So because the Karma Bandhana here is addressing karmas which are not ordained, that is outside of Vihita Karma, and doing Nishiddha Karma which are prohibited. So that is indicated as Karma Vasanaya Bandhanam Bhavishyati in the Bhashya. Karmaiva Bandhanam, or you can say Karmana Bandhanam, that is Karma Bandhana. That is Yajnarthat Karmano Anyatra. If anything that is done outside of Yajnartha, then only it will cause Bandhana. That is Atmiya Prayojana Sheshabhute Karmani Kriyamane. One who is doing for only selfish needs. Only that such karma, they are not ordained, and they are either they could be not ordained or they could be prohibited karmas, and they will only cause karma vasana and bandhana, etc. And lokaha here means lokoyam. Lokaha means samsari chetana vargaha. That is all the individual cells who are caught in this cycle of birth and death. That is the meaning of lokaha. Lokaha means the people living in this loka. Ataha tvam yajnartham dravyarjanadikam karma samachara. Because any karma done for purposes of yajna, etc., do not bind one. The word dravyarjanadikam is used in Bhashya to specifically say that a war will lead to earning lot of material. Dravyarjana, why that particular word was used, Deshika observes here that Dravyarjana was told because in this context Arjuna is trying to wage a war here, and a war will lead to earning of lot of material benefits also. And if all those are earned with the idea that it is only for the purposes of yajna, it will not bind one. That is, I am doing Paramapurusha Aradhana through this karma, so it is done as a yajna. So even when we do Bhagavad Aradhana, we say that Bhagavad Aradhanena Yakshye is told in the Sankalpa. When we say Bhagavad Aradhanena Yakshye, that is also mentioned in the Nitya Grantha by Bhashyakara, etc. So everything is Brahma Yajnana Yakshye, Bhagavad Aradhanena Yakshye. They are all yajnas only. That is Paramapurusha Aradhana Rupa. And so when it is done as a yajna, it will not bind one. And that is a purpose. And for yajna only, Paramapurusha Aradhana only, everything is done. So Kalidasa also says, the famous quotation everybody uses is Dudoha Gamsa Yajnaya Sastyaya Maghavadivam. Dilipa, when he is talking about Dilipa and Raghumsha, says Dudoha Gamsa Yajnaya. Gam means Prithvi. There in all the world, what the things, Dudoha means he milked the earth, means he accepted all the good things in this earth, whatever is given for the purposes of yajna, yajnaya. Sasyaya Maghava Divam. Maghava is Indra. He milked the sky, that is, he caused rains, etc., for the purposes of growing plants. So there, it is all, it is Swartha Tyaga. It is not, Yajna is also given the meaning of Swartha Tyaga here. In Bhagavad Gita, that is a special meaning given for Yajna. That is, it is Swartha Tyaga. So that is why here, Atmiya Prayojana Sheshabhute Karmani Kriyamane Lokaha Karma Bandhanaha. If it is done for Swartha, Atmiya Prayojana, then only it will become Bandhana. That is, Yajna, when it is done for as Devata Radhana, Paramapurusha Radhana, it is Swartha Tyaga, offering havis to the Devata, and then taking as prasada what is left over. That is in a large meaning. So, Tatra Atma Prayojana Sadhanataya Yaha Sangaha Tasmat Sangat Muktaha Samachara. The Sangha Tyaga is told separately here. So, Mukta Sangaha Samachara. Mukta Sangaha means, what is the meaning of Sangha is explained in the Bhashya as Atma Prayojana Sadhanataya Yaha Sangaha. Tasmat Sangat Muktaha Samachara. So, that is the Sangha is with respect to having the selfish needs, etc., the idea of selfishness. So, that is separately told here. And because if what is earned is to be meant for sacrifice, etc., then one should get rid of selfish attachment in them. The nature of Sangha Tyaga is different from Kartrutva Tyaga and Phala Tyaga. That is also shown here. Kartrutva Tyaga, Phala Tyaga, Sangha Tyaga. All these are included in Karma Yoga. That so I am the doer is not the thing, and I am the enjoyer of the fruits is also not thing. Sangha is, it's an attachment that for selfish needs. So that is also to be rejected. So if one asks, then one may ask the prayojana manuddishyana mandopi pravartate. That is, without any prayojana, nobody will do any act. So we say that it is true, but one should not have the idea that the karma that is going to be done, going to be the means for getting some fruits. That is, prayojana sadhanatva buddhi should not be there. So it is not that we are one has to do without any prayojana manuddishya. For moksha we will do, but it is that this is only is the sadhana. That idea should be left, because Parama-Purusha only will give the fruits, and it is not the karma itself will not give the fruits. So prayojana sadhanatva buddhi, that this karma is only going to give us the prayojana, that idea should be left. So, and just like one takes care of a friend, that's what Deshika observes here. If the karma is performed with the idea that by nature it is of the form of worship of the Lord, and that itself is the use, then it is alright. So by nature itself, the aradhana that we do is, or any karma that we do, yajna and other things, by nature it is of the form of worship of the Lord. If that is with the idea, and we are not using it as a means to attain some prayojana, even that idea should be left, is what is told here by Sangha. So Mukta Sangaha is committed as Sangat Muktaha. The Sangha attachment leads to bondage. Hence it is clearly specified here. Evam Mukta Sangena Yajnadi Arthataya, that is made clear again in the further in the Bhashya. Evam Mukta Sangena Yajnadi Arthataya Karmani Kriyamane Yajnadibihi Karmabihi Aradhitaha Paramapurusha. Here the view of Mimamsakas is refuted. Evam Mukta Sangena Yajnadi Arthataya Karmani Kriyamane. Like this, getting rid of the attachment that I am using this karma only as a sadhana, as a means for attaining the prayojana. Yajnadi Arthataya Karmani Kriyamane. It is done only as Paramapurusha Radhana. By nature they are Paramapurusha Radhana Rupa. And that Yajnadibihi Karmabihi Aradhitaha Paramapurusha. One who is pleased by that Paramapurusha. So mainly here the view of Mimamsakas is refuted. They say, Mimamsakas say that when karmas are performed, for them the karma itself will give the fruit. So there is apurva that is created, and there is what is known as apurva. And that apurva, because karma is achetana, that is, it is short-lived. When we do yajna or anything, it is started, it ends, and it is over, and that is an achetana, and it is some actions which are done and that gets over. And how can one get the fruit of Swarga in some other janma? Means there is something called apurva that is created from that karma, and that apurva will stay and then give the fruits of that karma, and that is what is told by them, and that is refuted here. The Shruti also Pramana gives Sayenam Pritah Prinati. Yajurveda shows that the Devata who is worshipped through the karma gets pleased, and through that Devata only fruits are obtained. So it is not that when karma is performed, the karma itself will give the fruit through some achetama, apurva, etc. But it is a aradhana of a devata, and the devata who is pleased by those karmas will bestow the fruits. That is the meaning. And there is no pramana to say that apurva only gives fruits, etc. And the words karma bihi aradhitaha indicates havirgrahana and priti. So the Mimamsaka says that devatas do not have a sharira itself. There is no form for devatas, is told by Purva Mimamsakas. So they say Vigraho Haviradanam Yugapat Karma Samsthitihi Triptihi Palapradanancha Devatanam Navidyate. Vigraha Haviradana Yugapat karma samsthiti. So they will ask question, if suppose Agneya Swaha, there are thousands of people doing parallelly at the same time in thousands of places, how can one Devata be present in all those places? Then how can he have a Sharira? If he has a Sharira, he cannot a body, he cannot be present in many places at the same time. Yugapat karma samsthiti. At the same time, being present in all the karmas to receive the havis. And so they don't have vigraha, they will not svika, they cannot receive the havis. And truptihi, phalapradhana or varapradhana, giving varas or the fruits and getting satisfied, trupti, all these things are not there for devatas. Mantra itself is devata for them. Mantra sharira. Sharira for devata is mantra itself is what they say. Well, we don't accept that. And it is also refuted in Devatadikarana, in Brahma Sutras, Taduparyapi Badarayana Sambhavat, and all these Brahma Sutras. It is well established that Devatas also have Vigraha, they also have Sharira, they can be present because of their special powers in multiple places. And only a Devata who is worshipped through a Yajna, when they get pleased, they only give the fruits. The karma itself cannot give fruit. All these things are established, and Deshika observes that is mainly meant here when yajnadibihi, karmabihi, aradhita paramapurusha. That explains clearly that all these things are, the Mimamsaka's views are not accepted here. So that is the meaning. Trupti, Phalapradatva, etc. are all there. So mantra itself is not the devata. So this is refuted here. And aradhitaha indicates that havis offering is done and the Lord who is pleased bestows the fruits. And Paramapurushaha shows that he has a Divya Mangala Vigraha, Aditya Varnam, etc. What is told in the Shrutis, that is established by this word Paramapurushaha. And he has the powers to be present everywhere and bestow the fruits of all the karmas. So it will also be told later in Gita itself that aham hi sarvajnanam bhokta cha prabhurevacha. The Bhashyakara comments there as bhokta as aradhya and prabhuhu, he says phalapradaha. So aradhya and phalapradaha is told as bhokta cha prabhurevacha. So that is also established here later. So the Paramapurusha who is pleased by the karmas only gives the fruits. That is what is just. Asya anadikala pravritta karma vasanam uchidya avyakula atmavalokanam dadati ityartaha. Because this first 6 chapters as told here, mainly it is told as atmavalokana is the sadhya. That is, one is who is trying to attain the atmavalokana first before going into bhakti yoga. Here the fruits are all of that nature only. So avyakula atmavalokanam dadati. The fruit that is here that is given is atmavalokana. The word dadati shows he bestows the fruits. Hence the 5 aspects of vigraha, aviradhanam, yugapat karma samsthiti, trupti, parapradhanam or phalapradhanam, they are all known from this, is clear. So the Lord who is pleased by this, he makes the person get rid of the karma vasana which has been continuing from beginningless time and gives the atmavalokana fruit. That is the meaning of that. So continuing further, the 10th shloka. Yajnashishtenaiva sarva purushartha sadhana nishthanam sharira dharana kartavyatam ayajnashistena sharira dharanam kurvato dosham cha aha. So in the next shloka, sahayajnaiv praja srishtva purovachak prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam yeshavostu ishtakamathuk. The Amtarike for this is yajnashishtena eva sarva purushartha sadhana nishthanam sharira dharana kartavyatam ayajnashishtena sharira dharanam kurvato doshancha aha. So those who want to get all the types of purushartha, whether dharma, artha, kama, moksha, anything, should maintain their body only through the food which is left over of offerings in the sacrifices told earlier. And those who do not follow this and live on which is ayajnashishta. Ayajnashishta is which is not yajnashishta. That is not which is a prasada of doing the yajnas, or who live on the food which is not offered to the Lord will be subjected to defects, is told further. Dosham. For such people there is a dosha. And for people who do it as yajnartha, they can get all the purushartha, whatever one wants, they have to do in Vihita karma, doing the Vedic karmas only, and they can get the, it could be any other devate or etc. And one who is desire of moksha is what is being discussed here, that for a mumukshu. So here it is all Parama Purusha only. For people who are for other purusharthas, they may offer worship other gods like Vayu or Agni or Indra, etc., and get those fruits. But if they are all Vihita karmas only, what is told in the Vedas, then if they do yajna like that and receive the prasada of the devate and then maintain their body, then that will be proper. Whereas ayajna shishta means it will become dosha. That is being told here. And here in this context, because it is for a mumukshu, moksha prakarana here only, it is bhakti yoga is what is being told. That is for that reason. Here it is mainly Parama Purusha. So this avatarike is the preamble for shloka starting from the current shloka, that is Sahayajnehi Praja Srishtva, the 10th shloka, until the 16th shloka, Mogham Partha Sajivati. Up to that is the preamble for this. And the word Sarva Purushartha Sadhana Nishthanam indicates that it is addressing all as per the Mula shloka, Prajaha Srishtva. That means the Srishti, and he created all types of beings, and people have different Purusharthas they may be desirous of. So it is addressing everybody is what is observed here. Sarva, that is why Sarva Purushartha Sadhana Nishthanam is told here. Sahajnehi Praja Srishtva Purovacha Prajapatihi Anena Prasavishyadvam Yeshavostu Ishtakamaduk. So Prajapatihi here is Sarveshwara, who is the Lord of all subjects. Saha Yajnaihi, that is along with the sacrifices. Pura means long back, means after the Pralaya. Prajaha Srishtva, having created the beings or all the subjects. Uvacha, told them like this. Anena, by this sacrifice, Prasavishyadvam, become prosperous. Samriddhi, get samriddhi. Yeshaha, let this sacrifice be. Vaha Ishtakamaduk astu, the Kamadhenu which gives all the desires, let it be the Kamadhenu for you, which will give you all the fruits. Ishtakamaduk, whatever you desire, let it give you all those fruits. So that is the meaning. So Saha Yajnehi Prajaha Srishtva, when Parama Purusha created the beings after Pralaya, again when he creates the beings, he also created the yajnas, and then he told them that by doing these yajnas, you worship the devatas and get prosperous, and let this give you all the fruits that you desire. The Bhashya for this is Patim Vishwasya Ityadi Shrutehe Nirupadhikaha Prajapati Shabdaha Sarveshwaram Vishwasya Srashtaram Vishwatmanam Parayanam Narayanamaha Pura Sargakale Sa Bhagavan Prajapatihi Anadikala Pravritta Achit Samsarga Vivashaha Upasamhrita Namarupa Vibhagaha Swasmin Pralinaha Sakala Purushartha Anarhaha Chetanetara Kalpaha Prajaha Samikshya Parama Karunikaha Tadujjijiva Ishaya Swaradhana Bhuta Yajna Nirvrittaye Yajnaihi Saha Taha Srishtva Evamavacha Anena Yajnena Prasavishyadvam Atmano Vruddhim Kurudvam Yeshavo Yajnaha Parama Purushartha Lakshana Moksha Akhyasya Kamasya Tad Anugunanam Cha Kamanam Prapurayida Bhavatu. That is the Bhashya. A very significant Bhashya for this. Patim Vishwasya Ityadi Shrutehe Nirupadhikaha Prajapati Shabdaha Sarveshwaram Vishwasya Srashtaram Vishwatmanam Parayanam Narayanamaha. So commentary is making it very clear. Sahayajnehi Praja Srishtva Puravacha Prajapatihi. The word Prajapati comes in many contexts, and some places it is also used to mean Chaturmukha Brahma, and in many places it is giving the meaning of Sarveshwara, Sriman Narayana. So what is the meaning in what context has to be very clearly understood, and in this context Bhashikara makes it very clear that it is Sarveshwaram Vishwasya Srashtaram Vishwatmanam Parayanam Narayanamaha. So as heard in the Shruti text beginning with Patim Vishwasyatmeshwarakum Jashvatam Shivamachyutam Narayanam Mahagyayam Vishwatmanam Parayanam. The Bhashyakara uses the same word from Narayana Anuvaka, Vishwatmanam Parayanam, Narayanam. Narayanam Mahagyayam Vishwatmanam Parayanam. Same words is used from Narayana Anuvaka to say that Prajapati is meaning here Sarveshwara Sriman Narayana. And it is used unconditionally, that is Nirupadhika, without any condition, any upadhi, indicates Narayana, who is the overlord, the creator of the universe, and inner controller of the entire world, and ultimate, and he is the ultimate goal of all. So Parayana, that is Parahayanam, that is, he is the most, utmost goal, ultimate goal of all. And Pura Sargakale sa Bhagavan Prajapatihi, that is, long back. Sargakale means during Srishti, Sarga is Srishti, and after the Pralaya, at the time of creation, that Prajapati, Bhagavan Prajapati, who is Bhagavan? So Bhagavan himself is in the Bhashya again, Bhagavan Prajapatihi. Here Bhashyakara is giving an adjective very clearly, Bhagavan iti shabdoyam tata purusha ityapi nirupadhi cha vartete vasudeve sanatane. Vishnu Purana says, Bhagavan and Purusha, these two words, whenever they are used without any upadhi, without any qualification or without any conditions, when they are used, they mean directly Vasudeva, that is Paramapurusha. Bhagavan iti shabdoyam tatha purusha ityapi nirupadhi cha vartete vasudeve sanatane. So Bhashyakara used Bhagavan Prajapati to make it more clear. And he saw all the beings, Anadikala Pravrtra Achit Samsarga Vivashaha. They have been associated with the Prakriti, Achit Samsarga, that is with the matter, inert matter. They are being associated, Anadikala Pravritta, Achit Samsarga Vivashaha. They have been under the control of Prakriti from beginningless time. Upasamhrita Namarupa Vibhagaha. That is, they don't have any name and form. The differentiation is not there during the Pralaya. They are all merged into the Bhagavan, and they stay with Bhagavan. The Eki Bhava is inseparably associated with him, and they without any name and form. Achid Avishishtan Pralaye Jantu Navalokya Jata Nirveda Karana Kalebara Yogam Vitarasi Vrishashailanatha Karunetvam. Swami Deshika says in Daya Shataka that Achid Avishishtan means who cannot say they are different from Achit, and there are no Vishesha compared to Achit. They are just like Achit. They are Achida Pralaye Jantun Avalokya Jata Nirveda. He got Nirveda Dukkha, and Karana Kalebara Yogam Vitarasi. You give them all the Indriyas and Deha and all those things so that they can do the Upaya and uplift themselves. So the same thing is told. Upasamhrita Nama Rupa Vibhagaha Swasmin Pralinaha Sakala Purushartha Anaraha Chetanetara Kalpaha. Chetanetara is Achetana. Chetanetara Kalpaha means Kalpa means Ishan Nyuna. That is little less than. That is the actual meaning of the word Kalpa. Chetanetara Kalpa means they are almost like Achetana. And Sakala Purushartha Anaraha, they have no form, no name, differentiation is not there. And it is told in Shruti and other places like Madhu Chishta Magna Hemakana Sadrishaha. How they are there during Pralaya is Madhu Chishta is honeybee. The Chishta means wax, the beehive, the wax of that beehive. And in that, if you mix fine powder dust of gold dust, if it is mixed with that wax and then it is made together, you cannot separate out a small particle of dust from that. So all the Chetanas are associated with Prakriti in the Avyakta form like that. One example is given like that. They are like that is what is told. So they are inseparably associated with Paramatman during that time, during Pralaya, and seeing them in that state without name and form, and for Anadikala, they have been Achit Samsarga Vivashaha, under the control of the matter, and no Upasamhrita Nama Rupa Vibhagaha, Swasmin Pralinaha, who are merged into him with a Eki Bhava. Sakala Purushartha Anaraha, who cannot do any act or any karma, and they cannot do any Purushartha. Chetanetara Kalpaha, almost like a Chetana, Prajaha Samiksha, Paramakarunikaha, the most compassionate Lord, tad ujjijiva ishaya, that is to uplift them, that let them get some, perform some upaya and do yajnas and upaya, and then get rid of this prakriti samsarga. Swaradhana bhuta yajna nirvrittaye. Swaradhana bhuta yajna nirvrittaye. The yajna is nothing but swaradhana bhuta, Paramapurusha aradhana yajnas, in order to perform those yajnas which are his own worship, swaradhana, yajnaihi saha, along with the yajnas, taha srishtva. So when he created the beings, he also created yajnas. He gave them the power to think and act, etc. Chit Shakti, the Kriya Shakti, everything he gave them. He gave them the Indriyas, he gave them Deha, he gave them the Yajna, how to do he created karma, how to perform the Aradhana, he gave the Aradhana Swarupa itself, he gave. Everything he gave, and he showed the Acharya, he made them get the jnana from them, do the yajnas, do the upaya anusthana, and then uplift themselves. He gave everything and told, anena yajnena prasavishyadvam. Do perform these yajnas, these aradhana, rupa, karma, and prasavishyadvam. You progress. Atmano vruddhim kurudvam. Yeshavo yajnaha. This yajna of the nature of my worship, Paramapurushartha lakshana mokshakhyasya kamasya tadanugunanam cha kamanam prapurayita bhavatu. So let it fulfill all your desires, which is Paramapurushartha lakshana mokshakhyasya kamasya. So there is what is the kama? All the kamas have to be left, means nishkama, akamaha, and all that, and atma, after that one has to become atma kamaha. That is Paramapurushartha lakshana moksha kama has to be there for somebody. That one has to desire. That kama is not that is prohibited, but that comes under nishkama itself. The Paramapurushartha moksha, that kama is included in nishkama itself. When nishkama karma is done, that moksha, one has to have the desire for moksha. Then only one can do all those things. So that kama, let it fulfill that kama, and tad anugunanam cha kamanam. So one has to do the sadhana, yavat sadhana samapti, one has to maintain the body, and all those things have to be done. So, and nyayarjita dhanena, aradhana, for whatever is required, one has to do. So all those things have to be done. Tad anugunanam cha kamanam prapurayita bhavatu. Let it fulfill all those desires which are required for attaining the moksha, and all the things that are required for doing that sadhana. That is also included in that. That is so aradhana rupa yajna. So that is a meaning of the Bhashya. Patim Vishwasya ityadi shrutehe. The word Prajapati is established in by Swami Deshika and Tatparya Chandrika in great detail, how Bhashyakara has given the meaning of Paramapurusha here. So in the Mula Shloka, Purovacha Prajapatihi. So it is not Hiranyagarbha and others, but Sriman Narayana only is made clear by quoting the Shruti from by Narayananuvaka, Patim Vishwasya. And Nirupadhikaha, unconditionally it is denoting Sriman Narayana. And Prajapati Shabdaha, Sarveshwaram. Sriman Narayana only is Sarva Prajapati, is indicated by Patim Vishwasya. In Shruti, it has not told the word Sheshi, is not used specifically. So it uses Patim. Pati means Sheshi only here. Patim Vishwasya means Sarva Sheshi he is. It's made clear as Sarveshwaraha in the Bhashya. Vishwasya Srashtaram, Vishwaatmanam, Parayanam, Narayanam Aha. So all these are told for one who is known by the word Narayana. And Narayanam Aha is the main meaning. And what are the adjectives for Narayanam? Parayanam, Vishwaatmanam, Vishwasya Srashtaram, Sarveshwara. All those things are adjectives to Narayana. The Devata Vishesha is Narayana, which is established in Narayananuvaka and others. Patim Vishwasya Atmeshwaram. Narayanam Mahagnyam Vishwaatmanam Parayanam. So, and Deshika also quotes from Parashara in Vishnu Purana. Kalau Jagatpatim Vishnum Sarvasrashtarameshwaram. Jagatpatim is told. Patim Vishwasya is what Bhashyakara has told here. By told in Vishnu Purana as Jagatpatim Vishnum Sarvasya Srashtarameshwaram. So Bhashyakara uses similar words here. Vishwasya Srashtaram. Vishwaatmanam, all those things. And Toyantastham Mahim Jnatva Jagat Yekarnavi Krite Anumanat Tadudharam Kartukamaha Prajapati. In Vishnu Purana, Varahavatara is praised, prayed here as Prajapati. So Toyantastham Mahim Nyatva, the earth which had got immersed in the water during Pralaya, Aranavikrite, Jagat Yekaranavikrite, the whole world had become one big Aranava, one Samudra, and the earth had got immersed in that. He had to bring her back, the earth, for that Kartukamaha, Uddharam Kartukamaha Prajapati. Here Varahavatara is being told. Here Prajapati is used for Varahavatari Vishnu. So that is also a pramana which Deshika quotes here. And in Taittiriya Samhita also it is used. Prajapati Shabda is used for in Taittiriya Samhita also, in Purvabhag Kanda also we can see in the second Kanda of Samhita, in the first Prashna itself, there is a mantra, Prajapatirva itameka asit sokameta praja pashun srijayeti atmano vapamudakhidate tamagno pragrunnat. He says, tataha ajastuparaha samabhote taggasvayai devata alabhata tatho vaisa praja pashuna srijata. So he created prajaha pashuna srijata, and Prajapatirva idam eka asit. Idam means the world, and it eka Prajapatirva eka asit. And Sayana Bhashya and Bhattavaskara Bhashya for this is very significant. Sayana Bhashya says how Prajapati created, and it is used the word Prajapati in Purvakanda and Taittiriya Krishna Yajurveda Samhita. Prajapatirva idam eka asit saha akamayata prajaha pashun srijeya iti. He did sankalpa. Saha atmano vapam udakhidat. And the wonderful thing here is, he also does the creation just like doing a yajna. How did he create yajna? Saha yajnaihi prajaha srishtva means he created yajna, means he performed the action of srishti in the form of a yajna itself, where you offer a havis to a devata. In the same way he also did. But who is the devata he offered? Tam swayai devataya alavata. For himself. He himself was the devata there. And Atmano Vapa Mudakhidat. Vapa is like intestine or something like that, what is told. And so he took all those Achit Samsarga, all these Chetana, all were which were all Avyakta, and Chetanas were all together as Tamashabda Vachya. And he took that as the Vapa, and he offered that as Havis to himself as the Devata. And he created everything, is told here in a wonderful way. And Sayana Bhashya is very significant here. He says, Idam praja pashurupam jagadadi jagat idanim drishyate. Tat idam srishtehe purvam prajapatihi ekaha asit. Prajapatireva stitaha nanyat kinchit ityartaha. So Sayana makes it so clear that all this jagat was only as Prajapati only. There is nothing else. Nanyat kinchit. And such a praja pashu srishtikamaha tat sadhanatvena swasharirat udara madhyavartinim patasadrishim vapam mutakhidat. So he took himself from his body, like it is like told just like somebody does a yajna. So that is how he created a yajna. He does srishti in the form of a yajna itself. Tam cha vapam agno prakshiptavan. So he offered it in Agni. Tataha dagdayaha vapayaha ajaha tuparaha shringaraitaha samutpannaha. So he explains all these things. And who is the devata? Tam cha ajam swatma rupam devata muddishya alabata. For himself he offered. Tat karma samarthyat prajaha pashura sajata. So swayameva swavapam utkidya. So he puts a doubt also. How can one offer to himself his own part of the body and all those things? It is some Indrajala you are talking about. Sayana puts a question. Mahadeva etad Indrajalam. He says, Badam Indrajalam eva itate. Let it be Indrajala only. Atayeva anyatra amnatam indro maya vipururupayate. He gives all the Mayant Prakriti Vidyan, Mayant Maheshwaram and quotations. He says, Indrajala is possible. He is also Leela. For him, Srishti is nothing but Kridartha. Lokavatva Leela Kaivalyam is told in Brahma Sutras. So he says, in the world itself, Yeditu Laukike api Indrajale Nakapi Anubhapatihi Tadanim Achintya Mahimni Sarvaveda Siddhe Parameshware Ka Nama Tava Anupapatihi. So Sayana says, what is the objection that you are raising here, that Paramatma cannot do such Indrajala? In Loka itself, we see so many Indrajala and people get a lot of pleasure out of that and all that. When Achintya Mahimni Sarvaveda Siddhe Parameshware Ka Nama Tava Anupapati. Sankalpa Siddhe Jagadishware Ko Nama Vismayaha iti chet tattarhi etate prakritepi na vismaya. So Sankalpa Siddhasya Kim etavata prayasena. What is the use for him by doing all this srishti? Nanavida bhogaihi truptasya rajadehe kim jyuta mrigayadi prayaseneti tvaya vaktavyam. What is, why should a lord, a king who is Chakravarti, who is having all sorts of pleasures and enjoyments, why should he do jyuta or sports and etc. for going hunting and all those things? Means leela. That is, it is for all pleasure, enjoyment. So even here Prajapati does in the same way. Tad atrapi anusandehi. Even here it is the same thing applies. And it is told in so many pramanas also. He gives sayana bhogartham srishtirithyanye kridartham iti chapare kridato balakasyeva cheshtam tasya nishamaya from Bhagavata, Vishnu Purana and all that. And Vyasa Sutramapi Lokavattu Leela Kaivalyam. So all these things show that Prajapati, what Bhashyakara gives the meaning that it is Sriman Narayana only is told, and there are more pramanas for that Prajapati, and there is a lot of explanations for this particular Bhashya. We shall take the remaining part of this explanation of this Bhashya in the next class. We have come to the end of this session, so I shall end this session and offering my pranam to everyone. I shall leave the class open for any questions and answers. Thank you. And in the next class, we shall take the remaining part of this shloka and Devan bhavayatanena te deva bhavayantuvaha parasparam bhavayantaha shreyaha paramavapsyatha ishtan bhogan hita vo deva dasyante yajna bhavitaha tair dattan apradayebhyo yobungte stena eva saha yajna shishtashinas santo muchyante sarvakilbishaihi bunjate te tvagam papam ye pachanti atmakaranat. Anna and all the Anna Chakra and all those things are told. So next few shlokas we can take Annad bhavanti bhutani parjanyad anna sambhavaha yajnad bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha karma brahmodbhavam vidhi brahmakshara samudbhavam tasmat sarvagatam brahma nityam yajne pratishtitam. So these 3-4 shlokas we can take up in the next session. So I shall conclude today's class and leave the class for any questions. Thank you very much. So if there are no questions, we shall conclude today's session. Thank you very much. Om Shri Krishna.